Mr. Treasurer, perhaps the big talking point at the moment is how far is the centre away from completion?
Well, we expect to have the building finished around about the second week in November. That'll give us about 2 weeks to fit out the seats prior to the Russian Gymnasts opening on December the 2nd.
That's the first big production then?
That's right, yes.
Perhaps at this stage also we could repeat the concept behind the centre and some of the vital statistics.
Well, as you can see, it's designed in a semicircle. The building itself is actually circular, and it's 375 feet in diameter. But the object of the exercise in the planning was to get as many seats as close to performers as possible. So what we did is we put the backstage area in about 1/3 of the circle, and that leaves us an area where we can accommodate 8,003 people. But for instance, if we were to be playing a tennis match or the Davis Cup, for instance, we'd take 800 seats out from the centre section and we'd extend the stage forward 110 feet by 70 feet. As it is, the main stage opening, the proscenium opening, is 70 feet wide, and the stage is 40 feet deep, and it's got 20-foot wing spaces. This means that it's the biggest stage in the Southern Hemisphere. Additionally, when we use the thrust stage area, by combining the two stages, you've got 11,200 square feet of colour studio space for television, which again makes that the biggest colour television studio in the Southern Hemisphere.
It would also make it the biggest convention centre in the Southern Hemisphere, I take it as well.
Well,
and it could be used for conventions.
Oh yes, in fact we've got a number of inquiries now from major conventions who can't find anywhere else in Australia to accommodate, from a seating point of view, the number of delegates that come. And of course Perth is particularly well served with the number of hotel rooms available. So from a convention point of view, I would say that this is going to be the place in Australia.
This is a view from the stage looking out towards the huge seating capacity. What type of seats will we have at the centre?
Well, in the thrust stage area here, there'll be very expensive, luxurious seats, but they of course can be taken out if we're doing Disney on Parade on the main stage. On the first level, going right around the building, the seats are a padded variety. There's in fact one sample up there now. And on the main top concourse level, they'll be polypropylene. They're not, on the top level, they're not the sort of luxurious theatre type seats, but they're very comfortable. And of course, one of the main reasons why we've made the building so big is that we can keep prices of admission down to a reasonable level.
I was going to say, at this stage, has any decision been made on admission prices, or will it depend upon the production?
Well, it'll depend entirely on the production and who the entrepreneur is, but on those attractions which we are bringing in, like with Michael Edgley, the Russian Gymnasts, and again with Michael and the Bullen Brothers, Disney on Parade, we've set our top price at $5.80. Now, when you consider that 3 years ago, when we played in the tent, the top price was $5.50, we've been able to contain prices over that difficult 3-year period at a pretty good level. What
amenities will be available at the centre for the public in the way of shops or a tavern or things like that?
Well, there is a tavern. It's quite a large one. It's located on the bus station side of the building. It can accommodate about 800 people, and there's a restaurant for 75. Then immediately above that, on the concourse level, there's 4,800 square feet of additional space for providing drinks or soft drinks or ice creams at intermission. Additionally, there are 2 picture houses. There's a coffee shop, but as far as shopping centre type activity, there's nothing of that nature.
The building itself has become quite a landmark in Perth. When it's completed, will the public be able to have a look over before, say, going to a show?
Oh yes, we intend to have tours of the building, and probably in the last week in November we'll invite people from who are working in town to come down and have a look in, sit down in the seats, and generally work out how they can find their way around. The seating is all colour-coded. There are 6 different colour seats, and anyone who buys a ticket will have a colour clearly marked on that, and they will follow signs which virtually get them practically to where they're going to sit by just finding their own way.
Now, the value to tourism, or as far as Western Australia is concerned, obviously this will be quite great. Have you worked this out on a per capita basis or through a monetary system?
Well, we expect that it will increase tourism quite a bit, especially with the convention field. We also know that because Disney on Parade is only going to play in Australia in Perth this Christmas, that both the airlines are organising for Eastern States tours to come to Perth to see Disney on Parade and go to the Perth Cup. which I think shows quite a bit of imagination on their part.
There will be interstate promotion of the centre as a centre itself.
Yes, this weekend we've got about 8 of the leading theatrical writers from the eastern states newspapers, plus 3 or 4 of the very senior radio commentators coming over to have a look at the building. Up until now we haven't given it a great deal of publicity elsewhere, but we're ready to go now, and so we've got them coming, and I hope that they'll be suitably impressed.
You've been associated with the venture from the word go, of course. Are you personally very satisfied?
Oh, yes, I'm delighted. I think the thing that most people don't realise is just how big it is. And when you get inside there and you stand on that centre stage, it's incredible how intimate the place feels. You feel as if you're close to the seats. And from a performer's point of view, I'm sure that they're all going to be very thrilled to play here. And in fact, as one very well-known person said the other day, in his opinion, this will become a place like Madison Square Garden, where they say, have you played the Perth Entertainment Centre?